Okay, fraction basics. Okay, and this is stuff you should know from 3rd and 4th grade. We're just going to quickly review it. Okay, I want you to write this down in your journal just so that you have it and you can refer back to it. The numerator is the top number. Okay, top number is the numerator and the denominator is the bottom number. So numerator over denominator. That bar, the fraction bar, means to divide. And if you notice, whenever you circle the numerator and the denominator, it looks like the division symbol, okay? Because 4 divided by 5 is what you say when you're looking at a fraction, okay? It means to divide. All right, so when we look at our fractions, if you're looking at a picture, the numerator is the shaded part, and the denominator is the total number of parts. Okay, so the numerator is what's shaded, the denominator is how many total parts that you see. So when you look at this picture, you see 2 shaded out of 3 total parts. Okay, if I was to take and draw this picture, okay, I have 6 shaded out of 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 6 out of 11 would be my fraction, okay? All right. So the one thing that you should remember from 4th grade is when you're adding and subtracting fractions with like denominators, okay, you add and subtract the numerator and the denominator stays the same. So for example, 1/4 plus 1/4, 1 plus 1 equals 2, and 4 just stays the same. The denominator did not change. 3/7 plus 1/7. 3 plus 1 is 4. 7, 7, 7. It stays the same. Okay? You're adding the numerator. The denominator just stays the same all the way across. Okay? 9/11 minus 4/11. 9 minus 4 is 5. And 11, 11, 11. The denominator just stays the same. It does not change. 14/15 minus 3/15. We took 14 minus 3 and we get 11. But then 15, 15, 15. The denominator stays the same all the way across. Okay? We don't change the denominator. All right. So now let's look at a little bit of vocabulary. If I was to add 4, 6 plus 3, 6, 4 plus 3 equals 7, 6, 6, 6 is my denominator, right? Okay, well, this leads us into what an improper fraction is. An improper fraction is when the numerator is greater than the denominator. Okay, so 5/4 is an example of an improper fraction. 16/11 is an example of an improper fraction. Anytime that numerator is bigger than what your denominator is. 2/1. The numerator is bigger than the denominator. 6/3. The numerator, which is the top number, is bigger than the denominator. Those are improper fractions. Anytime you see an improper fraction, which is a number bigger on top than on bottom, okay, is an improper fraction. All right, so now we're going to practice changing an improper fraction to a mixed number. And to do that, all you do is divide. So you remember I said that the fraction bar means divide. Well, that's what we're doing. We're going to use what we call Tae-Bo. It's like our own little mini workout. It means top in bottom out. Oops. Okay, so all that means 5 over 4 is an improper fraction. That means top is going to go on the inside of the house and the 4 goes on the outside. Top in, bottom out. And we have just learned about fractions with decimals, but we're doing decimals. We have just learned about division with decimals, but this time we're not going to do decimals. We're not going to add a decimal and zeros. What we're going to do is we're going to make fractions. So 4 will go into 5 one time. 1 times 4 is 4. 5 minus 4 is 1. So this number, what's left over, goes right over here and becomes the numerator. And this, what we divided by, comes right down there and becomes the denominator. Because there's 1 out of 4 left over. Okay, so let's do that again. 16 divided by 11. So our fraction was 16/11ths. Top on the inside, bottom on the outside. 11 will go into 16 just one time. 1 times 11 is 11. I subtract. 6 minus 1, I get 5. 5 becomes my numerator. It's what's left over out of 11, which is my denominator. 1 and 5/11ths left over. Okay, so we're just going to divide, and then whatever the remainder is, that becomes a fraction. It becomes my numerator, and what I divided by becomes my denominator. So let's do 7 over 6. 7 on the inside, 6 on the outside. 6 will go into 7 one time. 1 times 6 is 6. 7 minus 6 is 1. 1 becomes my numerator, and 6 is my denominator. Okay? So the 4 becomes the denominator. And 1 becomes the numerator, because the way it's written, I don't want you to get confused. Okay? So 1 went up and became the numerator. 4, what we divided by, goes over and becomes the denominator. Okay? All right. So we're going to just practice some Tableau. I'm going to give you a few problems. So let's do 14/12. That's top in, bottom out. 12 will go into 14 one time. 1 times 12 is 12. Subtract and I get 2. 2 becomes my numerator. 12 is my denominator. Okay, do 15 out of 13. 15/13. Okay, 15 divided by 13. 13 will go into 15 one time. 5 minus 3 is 2. 2 becomes my numerator. 13 is my denominator, because I have 2 out of 13 left over. All right, one more. Let's do 16 out of 9. 16/9. So 16 divided by 9. 9 will go into 16 just one time, because 9 times 2 is 18, so that's too big. So we have to borrow. 1 becomes 0, and 6 becomes 16. So 16 minus 9, that's 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So that would be 7. So 7 becomes my numerator, and the 9 is my denominator. Okay, so when I had divided 16, I have 9 goes into 16 one time, with 7 out of the 9 left over. Okay? Make sure you keep those notes. We're going to add a little bit more tomorrow.